The girl was live streaming, showing cats at the adoption center. When suddenly a heavily pregnant Siberian tiger barged in. Human. I'm sorry for intruding into your territory, but can I beg you to save my children? The Siberian tiger's pleading voice left Tang Wanwan stunned. After a moment of calm, she replied, I need to examine you now. I will press on your abdomen. I won't hurt you. My bloodline tells me I can let my guard down with you. This weak yet urgent voice made Tang Wanwan even more certain that the voice was indeed coming from this tiger. However, she had no time to dwell on why she could understand its speech. The live stream, seeing that suddenly appearing large tiger, erupted. Is this really a pet adoption center? Could Big Mimi also be a cat? Although we always knew the streamer was a cat training expert, who would have thought she could handle big cats too? Tang Wanwan naturally was unaware of the live stream audience's shock. Under her continuous pressing and touching, she roughly understood the specific situation of the Siberian tiger. It was pregnant with 2 cubs, perhaps due to the abundant resources in the greater Khingan range. The cubs had grown slightly larger, leading to some difficulty in labor now. Currently, the best method appeared to be a C-section, but looking at the bloodstains beneath the Siberian tiger, Tang Wanwan quickly dismissed this idea. A C-section could safely ensure the 2 cubs are born smoothly. But most likely this mother tiger would not survive it with her current. Although the adoption center has an operating room, it lacks an animal blood bank like those in rescue centers to provide blood transfusions for the mother tiger. Moreover, judging from its current condition, it probably won't hold on until the rescue center staff arrive, so it can only give birth right here. Can you still walk? Yes, the extremely weak voice made Tang Wanwan unable to resist patting its head. Then, using all her strength, she helped it stand up. Seeing this big creature obediently following her, Tang Wanwan showed a hint of surprise on her face. Earlier, she wasn't very confident, but now, being able to hear its inner voice, the chance of success was much greater with mutual cooperation. Due to the tight time, Tang Wanwan didn't have a chance to turn off the live stream, so she directly led the Siberian tiger into the neighboring operating room. Delivering babies for felines was not the first time for Tang Wanwan. As many of the stray cats rescued at the adoption center were pregnant, she first cleaned the bloodstains off the Siberian tiger's body, then sat down beside the mother tiger. Now, when I say push, you start giving birth. As long as a small part emerges, I can help you deliver the baby. The mother tiger no longer had the strength to squat for delivery, so its entire body leaned against the wall for support. Tang Wanwan used her hands to repeatedly press the mother tiger's hardened belly, a technique she learned from an experienced practitioner during her internship at the hospital. For some felines with difficult births, it can save a lot of effort. Right now, push. Following Tang Wanwan's the cries, the mother tiger trembled, her body straining to push her cub out. With the continuous efforts of both the woman and the tiger, a few minutes later, a little tiger's head appeared before Tang Wanwan. The newborn tiger cub, just separated from its mother, was very fragile. Tang Wanwan dared not use too much force, carefully cooperating with the mother tiger to slowly pull the cub out. Seeing the moment the little one's body left the mother tiger, Tang Wanwan immediately picked up the scissors beside her, ripped open the amniotic sac and umbilical cord around it, then said the amniotic fluid from its mouth and nostrils. These procedures Tang Wanwan was already very skilled at. Seeing the little one finally shouting out, a wave of joy suddenly surged into her heart. Tang Wanwan found a constant temperature box and placed the little one inside, then took 2 bottles of nutritional liquid from the cabinet and poured them into a basin. Have some water to replenish your energy. There's still one more cub to deliver. The mother tiger, fighting through her physical weakness, turned over and began to drink the nutritional liquid in large gulps. Listening to the sound of drinking beside her ear, Tang Wan's hand continuously moved over the mother tiger's belly. The second cub was much smaller than the first. Since the first was no longer blocking the position, the second should come out easily. After the mother tiger finished the nutritional liquid, the first cub also, under Tang Wanwan's continuous pressing, moved into the correct position. Come on, let's do it in one go. Tang Wanwan patted the mother tiger's head and prepared herself for the delivery at any moment. With replenished strength, the mother tiger had more energy this time. In less than 5 minutes, the little tiger also successfully entered this world. quickly cleaning the little one. Tang Wanwan brought the constant temperature box over, placing it beside the mother tiger. You're too weak now, so get some good sleep first. When you wake up, I'll find something for you to eat. I'll help you feed the children first, okay? Looking at her two cubs sleeping soundly in the constant temperature box, the mother tiger tried hard to nudge Tang Wanwan with her head. Human, you are kind. Hearing the voice coming from the mother tiger, Tang Wanwan showed a smile. I'll clean you up. You can sleep right here. She used clean gauze to clean the mother tiger, then found a quilt cover to place over the mother tiger, looking at the big creature peacefully closing its eyes. Tang Wanwan carefully carried the incubator back to the live stream room, only to find that the number of viewers had unknowingly increased from a dozen to over 50. The streamer is back. How is the tiger doing? What about the cubs? Have they been born yet? Watching the flowing comments in the live stream, Tang Wanwan displayed the incubator in front of the camera. Both cubs are healthy. This plump, round one is the firstborn, and this thinner one is the second. It was quite urgent earlier, so I haven't had the chance to check their genders yet. Then what are you waiting for? Check quickly, hurry up. If it's a pair of twins, one male and one female, that would be perfect. Reading the live stream comments, Tang Wanwan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Hold on a moment, I need to prepare some milk formula for them. The mother tiger is too weak right now and probably won't be able to produce milk for the next few days. Tang Wanwan rummaged through the cabinet and pulled out a large can of goat milk powder, quickly prepared 2 bottles of goat milk, then tested the temperature on her wrist to make sure it was okay, before picking up the firstborn from the incubator, lifting its still mostly hairless tail to take a look. The firstborn is male, watching the little one happily drinking from the bottle. The number of viewers in the live stream surged once again. Quick, check if the second one is female. I'm really hoping for twins, one male and one female, out of admiration. And so, this is the live stream where we're forced to deliver a Siberian tiger, isn't it? Alright, let it drink for now. Let's take a look at the next one. Tang Wanwan picked up the second cub from the incubator, lifted its tail to take a look. Another male, so it's not a dragon and phoenix pair, boy and girl twins. Watching the little one open its tiny mouth wide, Tang Wanwan inserted the pacifier. At that moment, the live stream comments surged even more intensely. Although it's not a dragon and phoenix pair, which is a bit of a pity, it's good that both mother and babies are safe indeed. The safety of mother and babies is more important than anything else. After the 2 little ones were full and satisfied, Tang Wanwan placed them back into the incubator. It's getting late and I need to rest early tonight. These 2 little ones need to be fed every 3 hours. If I don't sleep now, I'm afraid I won't have any time to sleep tonight. So that's all for today's live stream. Remember our slogan: adopt, don't shop. We'll see you tomorrow, same time. Reaching out to turn off the stream, Tang Wanwan was just about to test with 2 kittens whether the inner voices she heard were only from the mother tiger or from all animals. Suddenly, a series of urgent knocks came from outside the door. Tang, are you there? We received a report that a Siberian tiger has broken into your place. Looking at the door that was already starting to strain under the pressure, Tang Wanwan quickly called out in response, stop knocking. I'm fine. After opening the door, outside were several fully armed police officers were looking around with tense expressions. Where's the Northeast Tiger? There's no Northeast Tiger here. The mountain city area is near the Greater Khingan Range, and although there are often reports of wild animal sightings, most of the time they are creatures like wild boars or black bears. The Northeast Tiger is something their local police station had never encountered before. Well, it's fine now. It just gave birth and is resting upstairs. Would you like to go and see? Hearing this, the 2 police officers glanced at each other, then fell silent. After a long while, the slightly older officer rubbed his temples. Are you trying to say this Northeast Tiger traveled all this way just to give birth at your place? Although I'm also very surprised. That's exactly what happened. Then another voice spoke up. Well, since the Northeast Tiger hasn't caused any harm, leave the rest to us to handle. Looking at the man in a suit before her, Tang Wanwan instantly confirmed he was definitely a colleague. Vets always carry the smell of animal fur, which is almost impossible to get rid of. Hello, Tang Wanwan. I'm the deputy director of the Mountain City's Wildlife Protection Center. My surname is Chen. Hello, Mr. Chen. How do you plan to handle this? Although adoption centers and rescue centers have similar names in reality. They are completely two unrelated departments. Adoption centers are for pets like cats and dogs, while rescue centers handle protected animals year-round. In comparison, the responsibilities of the protection center are even greater. Yes, according to regulations, we will care for the Siberian tiger, and when it meets the release conditions, we will find a suitable place to release it. Don't worry, we are all professionals. I'm not doubting your professionalism. It's just that you might not be able to take this tigress away. What do you mean? She is currently extremely weak, having given birth less than an hour ago in this weather. If she leaves indoors, she will immediately fall seriously ill. At this point, Tang Wan paused, her tone carrying a hint of apology. Also, there are two cubs. I have already fed them their first taste of goat milk formula. If they are taken away now, I'm afraid they might become anorexic. Wild animals are different from domesticated cats and dogs. They will recognize the first milk formula they drink as the taste of their mother's milk. So Tang Wan specifically chose the largest can to feed them, worried that after finishing it, they might not accept other flavors if switched. Deputy Director Chen was stunned for a moment, then looked behind him. A person in a white lab coat seemed to have just arrived, still catching their breath. That's right, at this time, whether changing the goat milk formula or taking the tigress away will lead to serious consequences. Okay. After the atmosphere had been quiet for a long time, Director Chen sighed. All right, take me to see the condition of the cubs and the mother tiger first. If it's confirmed that they can't be taken away, then we'll think of another way. Please come with me, accompanied by two police officers. The group arrived at the first floor lobby of the adoption center. Tang Wan showed Director Chen the cub inside the incubator, then pointed at a nearby milk bottle they were fed less than 10 minutes ago. The person in the white coat observed the little tiger carefully through glasses, then put on a pair of white gloves and began a thorough examination. Taking advantage of this time, Deputy Director Chen explained to Tang Wan, "This is Zhang Kai, a doctoral graduate in veterinary medicine from the overseas, currently conducting ecological research in the Greater Khingan Range." Hearing Deputy Director Chen's explanation, Tang Wan looked at Zhang Kai with some curiosity. Someone who studied abroad and returned, not working in research centers in big cities to develop drugs. What are they doing in this remote corner of a mountain city? Zhang Kai finished the examination and said, "Both male tigers are very healthy, even exceeding the average standard of the breeding center." Hearing this, Deputy Director Chen nodded. "Let's go take a look at the mother tiger." The group arrived at where the mother tiger was resting, and Tang Wan carefully pushed open the door. The still sleeping mother tiger immediately opened her eyes, sniffed the scent in the air, and her eyes instantly full of vigilance. She struggled to prop up her body, trying to get up. "It's fine, they're all our own people, no danger." Tang Wan dashed forward in a flash, pressing down the mother tiger who wanted to crawl up. Zhang Kai watched the Siberian tiger struggling even to rise and made a judgment. If forced to move in this condition, it could very likely lead to organ issues, and coupled with emotional fluctuations, it might well result in death. Upon hearing this, Deputy Director Chen sighed, once again nodded at Tang Wan, and completely abandoned the idea of taking it away. After Tang Wan had soothed the cat, several people returned to the main hall. "Zhang Kai, you should speak about your thoughts from the current situation. Transfer is impossible. The best approach is to first keep it here." After a brief pause, Zhang Kai took out a computer to look up some information, then spoke up. "The adoption center's qualifications are sufficient, although it can only be considered half an official organization. It has all the necessary materials. We just need the protection center to issue a statement. When I was downstairs, I observed that the front and back courtyards are spacious enough for the Siberian tiger to move around. Tang Wan herself is also a veterinarian, so there's no need to worry about technical aspects. And besides, I can provide support and assistance at any time," as Zhang Kai explained. Deputy Director Chen set aside his concerns. "In that case, Comrade Wan, can you accept this? Feel free to bring up any requirements. It's not a problem raising it, but there's one thing I might need your help with. The funding for the Adopt Ion Center is very limited. Usually, most of it operates thanks to my live streams and social donations." You see, when Tang Wan mentioned money, her eyes even started to light up. "The adoption center's funds are far from enough. Not to mention other things, just simply opening a can for each of these cats is difficult. Now, leveraging the Siberian tiger, we finally have a sucker coming along, even if it's just asking for a meal. Fee for such a big tiger, $500 a day isn't too much, right? Hearing that it was just a lack of money, Deputy Director Chen was first stunned for a moment, then relaxed completely. In that case, we will allocate $100,000 to you for this month's care. For the Siberian tiger's use, if it's not enough, come find me anytime. 100,000. The massive number made Tang Wanwan's breath quicken a few notches. If there really is 100,000, the funding for the rescue center is quite a lot. And the reference bid is for one Siberian tiger, 80,000 a month. Not to mention you have two cubs here as well. Hearing this, Tang Wanwan then felt at ease. As long as the money is in place, I will definitely raise them white and plump. Just as Tang Wanwan's words fell, Zhang Kai beside her stood up. Deputy Director Chen, I apply to continue my research mission at this adoption center. These 3 Siberian tigers are of great use to my research. The air instantly fell into silence. Pairs of eyes gathered on Zhang Kai. Deputy Director Chen awkwardly curled his toes 3 times. Well, Xiao Zhang, the adoption center is not our subordinate unit. And Miss Tang lives alone. It's not suitable, then. Deputy Director Chen, blushing, explained to Tang Wanwan. Xiao Zhang stays in the lab for long periods, isn't very good at dealing with people, so some things he says without thinking. I hope you don't mind. Tang Wanwan also understood this is just a standard STEM guy. His mind is only on his experiments. It's fine, understandable. Facing a major donor who's giving her money, whatever Tang Wanwan said couldn't possibly be angry. I can write a guarantee letter. The sudden voice made Deputy Director Chen, who had just alleviated the awkward atmosphere. The Deputy Director stiffened. Once again, Xiao Zhang. We'll talk about this matter after we return. Seeing that Deputy Director Chen was unwilling to budge, Zhang Kai turned his head and looked towards Tang Wanwan. Miss Tang, please help me. This experiment is very important. Seeing the earnest plea in Zhang Kai's eyes, Tang Wanwan hesitated for a moment. Can I take a look at your experiment? Of course. Zhang Kai quickly opened his notebook. This is the outline and purpose of my experiment. What's most lacking right now is observation data of the parent and offspring after the birthing process ends. Most artificially bred animals lose the desire to reproduce. Only by observing wild animals from the first day they are kept by humans can the most accurate data be obtained. Watching Zhang Kai speak so fluently and at length, Tang Wanwan fell silent for a moment. And finally, still nodded. I can allow you to observe and record data at the adoption center. However, feel free to state any requirements. Hearing Tang Wanwan soften her stance, Zhang Kai didn't hesitate and spoke directly. The adoption center's daily work is very busy. If you want to stay here, you must take on a portion of the work. No problem, that's what I should do. Also, regarding the cost of meals, I'll pay it daily as long as I can record the data. After a brief chat with Zhang Kai, Tang Wanwan discovered that this guy, aside from his experiment, simply had no other thoughts whatsoever. In that case, I agree. Thank you, Miss Tang. Looking at Zhang Kai's sincere expression of gratitude, next to them, the 2 police officers and Deputy Director Chen fell silent. They had practically witnessed with their own eyes how Tang Wanwan fooled the idiot. Not only did he come to work at the adoption center every day, he also had to pay an extra $2,000 each month for meals. Paying to work was something Tang Wanwan had researched to perfection. After seeing this group off, Tang Wanwan began counting on her fingers. Siberian tigers actually don't eat that much in a day. If she went to the market early to buy meat, the daily food cost would be around $500. The supplies for the 2 cubs cost less than $20 a day. Out of the $100,000, roughly $80,000 would end up in her hands after feeding the 2 tiger cubs milk. Again, Tang Wanwan pulled a white cat out of its cage. Can you understand what I'm saying? Meow. Looking at its vacant, foolish expression, Tang Wanwan silently stuffed it back into the cage. Her gaze swept around, soon settling on a tabby cat rescued a few days ago. This cat was saved from a ventilation shaft in a residential area. It was usually somewhat lazy, only becoming most active during mealtime. Tang Wanwan thought this one should be smarter this time. As soon as her hand touched the top of its head, a stream of grumbling immediately came through. Damn humans, my Poor balls, bad humans, sob. How am I supposed to face female cats in the future? Damn humans still want to pet me. Pretending should lead to something tasty, meow. With a somewhat sweet voice, it made Tang Wanwan fall silent again for a long time after casually stuffing it with a piece of cooked chicken breast, then continued to look for the next test subject. After more than an hour of testing, Tang Wanwan gained an understanding of the sud, an ability relatively smarter animals can achieve. Effective communication, but most animals can only roughly express their meaning. And there are even some idiots who can't even speak, among which cow pattern cats are the most numerous. After understanding her ability, Tang Wanwan yawned and crawled into bed. This night was completely a torment for her, having to get up every 3 hours to feed the 2 little babies. Wanting to have a solid sleep was simply impossible. With the morning alarm and the cries of over 10 cats, Tang Wanwan yawned and came to the first floor, took the 2 little ones out of the incubator, looking at the small fuzz that had grown on their bodies. Couldn't resist and rubbed them with her hands. Feeling the softness transmitted from her palms, Tang Wanwan prepared 2 bottles of goat milk and stuffed them into the 2 little ones' mouths. Before even deciding what to eat, this morning from outside the gate came Zhang Kai's calling voice. Miss Tang, are you there? Hearing the voice, Tang Wanwan's eyes lit up according to common sense. If so, since Zhang Kai came so early, he should have brought me a breakfast. Quickly opened the door. The first thing to meet the eyes is holding a laptop and a stack of materials. Zhang Kai, Tang Wan sighed. Sure enough, she really couldn't harbor any expectations for this wooden head. Did you eat breakfast? No. By the way, this is my food expenses. Looking at the envelope Zhang Kai handed over, the trace of resentment that had just risen in Tang Wanwan's heart instantly dissipated. Come in, first clean the cat litter, then put fresh water in every cage. I'll go buy groceries. No problem. Tang Wanwan drove to the market, stood at the market entrance and opened the live stream. Good morning, everyone. Soon the bullet comments became lively. Where's the Siberian tiger? Getting up this early deserves a reward. Let us see the Siberian tiger, the cub. How is the cub? Has it become much better looking? Looking at the bullet comments, Tang Wanwan explained, the 2 little ones' condition is still not bad. I am now at the grocery market buying meat. After returning, I'll show everyone. The family of 3 steps entered the market. Tang Wanwan picked 5, 10 catty big roosters, borrowing the time the boss processes the chickens. Tang Wan educated the live stream audience. The female tiger at home is too weak. Chicken meat is relatively easier to digest. We will pair it with some beef and lamb, which can most quickly help the North East tiger recover. Chatted with the audience for a while about knowledge of Northeast tigers. The boss also finished processing each live chicken. Tang Wanwan went to buy some other vegetables and beef and lamb. Returning to the adoption center, Tang Wanwan found Zhang Kai's brain, though a bit dull, but work ability is really nothing to say. Left for less than an hour, he not only gave each cat cage, changed the cat litter and food, but also cleaned the first floor hall. Well done. I am now going to feed the female tiger. Do you want to come? Hearing about feeding the female tiger, Zhang Kai's eyes immediately lit up. The 2 entered the female tiger's resting room. Looking at its eyes filled with fatigue, Tang Wanwan placed 2 chickens and a piece of lamb in front of it. Is there any place on the body that feels uncomfortable? Direction: none. A night's rest also allowed the mother tiger to regain some strength. After rubbing her head against Tang Wanwan, she responded, this is food I brought for you. Try to eat it all. So much meat. Watching Tang Wanwan opened the bag, the tigress's eyes instantly went wide and round. You humans' hunting skills are truly impressive. Hearing the tigress's praise, Tang Wanwan smiled and patted its somewhat hard head. Eat up quickly. After you're full, I'll take you outside to bask in the sun and you can get closer to your own child. Thank you, human. Seeing the tears streak from the corner of the tigress's eye, Zhang Kai's pen, which was recording beside them, also involuntarily paused. He can understand, the questioning tone made Tang Wanwan turn her head. Of course he can. Many animals can understand the meaning of human speech, though humans struggle to comprehend. Just leave them be. Their body language is different. Animal communication primarily relies on scent, and body language is also a conclusion drawn from human observation, not necessarily accurate. Tang Wanwan's words opened a new world for Zhang Kai, his gaze shifting back and forth between the mother tiger and Tang Wanwan. Can I touch its belly then? If I can feel it with my own hands, the data recording should be more accurate. Hearing this, Tang Wanwan looked at the mother tiger. Do you agree? The mother tiger sized up Zhang Kai with a wary gaze, hesitated for a moment, then still complied. Yes, it agreed. But only for a little while. Upon hearing this, Zhang Kai first took a deep breath, then cautiously reached out to touch the mother tiger's belly. Tang Wanwan, watching the mutually wary human and tiger, couldn't help but smile as she turned her gaze to the live stream. I feel the mother tiger is so nervous. This time it's not even eating, keeping an eye on the approaching hand at all times. Haha, normally, shouldn't the one who's nervous be this young man? Why does it look like a scene from an online romance meeting in person? After a brief touch, Zhang Kai quickly stepped back 2 paces, then wiped the cold sweat that had broken out on his forehead. Did you finish recording? Yes, all done. All right, then I'll go cook. After eating, you can stay in the backyard with their family of 3. Upon hearing this, Zhang Kai's eyes lit up again. Tang Wanwan led the audience to the kitchen where she stuffed 30 pounds of chicken breast into the pot, giving it a simple treatment. Breakfast was dragged out until past 8 o'clock before they finally ate. Zhang Kai looked at the table full of delicacies before him and fell somewhat silent. Is it really good to eat something so greasy in the morning? Tang Wanwan retorted, just eat. Humanity has evolved all these years so you could eat meat. If we were really meant to eat only vegetables, then our ancestors might as well have never come down from the trees. It seemed like a very reasonable point, which left Zhang Kai stunned. No, but braised pork, spicy stir-fried lamb, and a serving of roasted durian. No matter how you think about it, these shouldn't be eaten in the morning, right, bro? You actually believe that? Are research types really this easy to fool? Amid the barrage of teasing in the live stream, Zhang Kai half-believingly accepted Tang Wanwan's explanation. After finishing this breakfast, Tang Wanwan glanced at the live stream and suddenly noticed some pleasantly surprising comments. Wanwan, I'll be at the adoption center in 10 minutes. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Today, I'm taking 2 cats home. Seeing these messages, Tang Wanwan quickly ran to the cat cages and began lecturing the kittens. Listen up, 2 adopters will be here soon. Whoever gets chosen will enjoy a life of wealth and luxury. So behave well, then you'll have no worries about food or drink. There are still people playing with you every day. Ahahaha. When can I see a lecture without laughing out loud? I can't take it anymore. Hurry. Look, 2 cats have already covered their ears. It's killing me. I don't know which lucky one will be taken home today. 10 minutes later, a man in sportswear walked in. Wanwan, hello, my surname is Su. Hello, Mr. Su. What kind of cat are you planning to adopt? I can give you an introduction. I want one that's a bit smarter. Is that okay? Tang Wanwan recalled last night's experiment and quickly pointed to a few cages. This tabby cat, this silver-shaded, and this tabby are all considered quite smart. They can understand the meaning of some not too long sentences. As she spoke, Tang Wanwan opened the cages, letting these 3 little guys jump to the ground as cats who have been strays. Once, they all clearly understand the difference between being cared for by humans and surviving in the wild, especially since Tang Wanwan has more than once brainwashed them about how happy it is to be taken home by an adopter. All 3 cats gathered around Mr. Su, constantly rubbing against his calves with their bodies. Mr. Su carefully looked at the 3 little ones for a while, then picked up the largest. Silver-shaded, smiled, and nodded to Tang Wanwan. Hearing this, the ones that were still acting cute, the cute tabby and the tiger-striped cat, turned their heads and left faintly. Tang Wanwan also heard the 2 creatures' grumbling voices. That damned fat guy can't be better looking than me. No, such poor taste. This home we can't go to. Exactly, that fatty will just go and eat their family out of house and home with such bad taste. Why come to choose an owner anyway? Tang Wanwan took a deep breath, forcibly not looking at these 2 little creatures. Mr. Su, here is an adoption agreement that needs signing. We will also have irregular follow-up visits. Seeing Mr. Su had finished signing, Tang Wanwan took a pet carrier and a bag of new cat food from the cabinet and gave them to him. Her adoption center's main responsibility was to find good homes for stray cats. As long as someone was willing to adopt, these carriers and cat food were considered gifts, completely free of charge. Just after seeing Mr. Su off, the second prospective adopter also walked in from outside the door. Wow, I Finally get to see a live streamer in person, that one. Sentence made the not quite right in the head Zhang Kai. Cast a glance from the side. You've seen dead ones? Tang Wanwan rolled her eyes in exasperation. Of course I've seen them. That's my line of work. I see dead people far more often than living ones. Huh? Hearing this, Tang Wanwan froze. The live stream chat instantly surged. Dying of laughter, the host cracked. A joke in front of a real boss can't mess with this. Really can't mess with this. If you really piss them off, they might send you into the furnace to be cremated. Ha ha ha. Quick look, Brother Sue next to clearly took several steps back. Hey, what kind of cat do you want? I'll help you pick one. Hearing serious business, the man sank into thought for a moment before speaking. It would be best if it could be clingier. My place is, after all, somewhat eerie at night. Hearing this, Tang Wanwan looked at the group of cats in the cage. The previously active tabbies and tigers had all shrunk into the corner, all full of dead people. Absolutely, don't pick me, not goin'. No matter what you say, not goin'. Listening to the sounds coming from the two of them, Tang Wanwan shifted her gaze, her vision finally settling onto rescued Persian cats. These two cats were once raised by a cat lover. They have clingy personalities and also don't run around. They're just not very clever. Not even able to make some simple vocalizations. How about these two Persians? Perfectly match your requirements. Watching the two Persian cats Tang Wanwan carried out, the man's eyes instantly lit up. Can I hold them? Sure, their personalities are quite clingy. You can play with them however you like. Feeling the two little ones constantly rubbing against him, the man's inner joy nearly overflowed. Sign the agreement, box them up, take the cat food. After the entire process was over, Tang Wan let out a sigh of relief. After seeing the person off, she brought Mother Tiger and the two cubs to the backyard, the adoption center's backyard. The area occupies quite a bit of space, surrounded by a fence made of bamboo. What a large courtyard. If I set up a chair here, I could hold the cat and lie here all day. Streamer, why doesn't the streamer let the cats out to bask in the sun? Tang Wanwan glanced at the bullet comments and explained, originally, my idea was to create a cat paradise where they could sunbathe and play, but since many of the cats have been strays, these guys tend to fight easily when gathered together. So after a few incidents, I had to give up on it. After that, Tang Wanwan sat down next to the tigress. How does it feel? Very comfortable. If I want to live here in the future, what price would I have to pay? Hearing the tigress's hopeful inquiry, Tang Wanwan fell silent for a moment, then set the streaming equipment aside. What's wrong? Don't you want to return to the forest anymore? The tigress adjusted her posture, allowing Tang Wanwan to lean more comfortably. Food in the forest is becoming increasingly scarce. My cub and I wouldn't survive long if we went back. The deterioration of resources in the greater Khingan range is widely known, but Tang Wanwan hadn't expected even Siberian tigers to struggle to eat their fill. Let me think of a solution. There should be a way. Keeping this adult into cubs, these Siberian tigers would indeed be challenging for her. After all, the adoption center isn't a conservation center, and she lacks the qualifications to manage wildlife independently. Tang Wanwan's gaze drifted toward Zhang Kai in the distance, who was taking notes in his notebook. Stroking his chin as he pondered the plan, the scene quieted down, while the live stream became even livelier. No way did she just go up to it so delicately and lean right against it. Are Siberian tigers usually this gentle? Why is this different from what I imagined? Just as Tang Wanwan was thinking, she heard a voice coming from the mother tiger. You can let those little ones out to bask in the sun. If they fight, I should be able to keep them under control. Hearing this, Tang Wanwan hesitated for a moment, then nodded. In less than 10 minutes, she brought all the cats to the backyard, watching the little ones scurrying around everywhere. Tang Wanwan casually picked up a white cat and showed it to the live stream. This white cat was found by me in a neighborhood near the school. Although its personality isn't clingy, it's definitely very obedient. Come on, show everyone a fierce look. Upon hearing this, the little one immediately bared its teeth, let out a huff at the camera, and then a strong sense of complaint emanated from it. This silly woman, always making this young master do such brainless things. The air fell silent for a moment, and Tang Wanwan quietly placed it on the ground. All right, let's move on to the next one. The little white cat is so well behaved. I really want to raise one. Host, don't rush. Let's Look at the little white cat a bit more, Tang Wanwan then picked up. A chubby blue cat. This blue cat came from the incident 3 months ago. Rescued in heavy rain, this guy was skin and bones back then. If not for good luck, it probably would have drowned in the pipes. Its temperament is still quite stable generally, apart from eating. It spends most of its time sleeping if you don't have too much time. This blue fatty is perfect for you. Among the flood of bullet comments in the live stream, Tang Wanwan rubbed its round belly, and after hearing no complaints come through, she nodded with satisfaction. Tang Wanwan's adoption center has over 70 cats. Her live stream has no gift channel, only a donation button. Usually, broadcasting all day only brings 30 or 40, but with the Siberian tiger, in just one morning she saw an extra 100 in donations. Although for some streamers this amount is pitifully small, for the cats at the adoption center, it's already enough to improve their meals quite well. While promoting one kitten after another to the live stream audience, suddenly a sharp cat cry rang out from the corner. What caught the eye were two cow cats leading a large group of cats in a standoff against another group of tabbies, the nearby. Tigress's gaze also turned toward the cat crowd. Then a roar that echoed through mountains and forests came out. The unique roar of a Siberian tiger instantly silenced the still cursing. These few cats quieted down one by one, looking fearfully toward the mother tiger's location. So fierce, a big one came, bro. There's retreat, can't win. Hearing the sounds coming from the distance and the group of little kittens completely quieting down, Tang Wanwan happily rubbed the Siberian tiger's head. Great, glad I could help you. The mother tiger used her paws to tuck the cubs into her embrace, using her tongue to help the two little ones clean their fur. Tang Wanwan smiled. Indeed, suppression from the bloodline is always the most effective method. Before Tang Wanwan could even watch the lively barrage of comments, a sudden, urgent phone ring sounded and a somewhat anxious voice came through the phone. Hello, is this the adoption center? Yes, what's the matter? I'm a landlord from the apartments near the university district. I have two students who left their cats behind after moving out. Do you think you could take them away? Yes, how many are there in total? Both are ragdoll cats. Okay, please add my mobile number and send me your location. I'll set off right now. Rescue situations like this are mostly unexpected, and the regular viewers in the live stream are quite familiar with this. Another case of college students abandoning pets. It always hurts to see. If you can't take care of them, just don't get them. Why get them and then abandon them? I've wanted to adopt a cat for over a year now, but because of work unstable, I couldn't bear to let the cat children suffer with me. And yet there are still people abandoning cats. Seeing the anger in the live stream, Tang Wanwan also sighed, then looked at the mother tiger and instructed, help me take care of the little kittens. The children will need milk later. Remember to find the wooden man over there. Listening to Tang Wanwan's instructions, the mother tiger also rubbed her head against her. Then Tang Wanwan also to Zhang Kai assigned tasks. I'm now going to set off for rescue. The goat milk for the little tigers is all in the incubator. Remember to feed every 3 hours. Then she pointed to the cabinet in the room on the first floor. If there are adopters, remember to have them sign the agreement. After instructing once, Tang Wanwan quickly drove towards the location sent by the other party. Half an hour later, the car stopped at the entrance of a residential area. Tang Wanwan called the landlord's phone. After a simple communication, a woman standing by the roadside walked over from afar, carrying a pet carrier. Accompanied by the woman's complaints, I really don't know what the young people nowadays are thinking. These are after all two lives just left in the room. If I hadn't passed by today, they would probably have starved to death. This kind of thing Tang Wanwan has long been accustomed to. She turned her gaze to the two cats inside the pet carrier. How long have they been hungry? Probably a week. I just gave them some water. I'll take the cats away. Thank you for saving 2 lives. As long as there's a place for them to go, you can tell the landlord is quite kind-hearted. Tang Wanwan drove back towards the adoption center. And while waiting at red lights on the road, she also explained the specific situation to the audience in the live stream. Generally speaking, the adoption center has 2 busiest periods. One is around the time of recent university graduations. This is when abandoning cats is most common. The regular viewers in the stream should know. Last year at this time, the adoption center received up to 17 cats in a single day. The other period is spring, when cats begin breeding. This is a high occurrence time for stray cats, most of them carrying various illnesses as Tang Wanwans. Words fell. The regular viewers in the live stream also sent out a large number of comments. Yeah. Last year near the University District, abandoned cats were almost everywhere. I even saw several that had starved to death. I just hope the message of adoption over buying can gradually spread. Otherwise, this kind of thing can never be eradicated. The car returned to the adoption center amidst the stream of live stream comments. Tang Wanwan carried the two cats into the examination room, carefully poured the cats from the box onto the observation table. Both cats are ragdolls with very full coats, but having not eaten for a long time has left them so hungry they're a bit unsteady on their feet. Tang Wanwan put on gloves and sanitized herself, then reached out to touch the two little ones. So hungry, this two-legger's scent is so much like Mama's. I'm really hungry too. I miss Mama so much. The sounds coming from the little ones made Tang Wanwan freeze for a moment, then she sighed and began conducting a thorough examination. Fortunately, after a full set of checks, apart from being weakened by hunger, no other issues were found. Tang Wanwan breathed a sigh of relief and said to the live stream, "Good news, neither of them has any diseases. Aside from some problems caused by an empty stomach, they're quite healthy." The live stream chat read, "Good news, but also the worst news. Their owner abandoned them for no reason." When will people realize that the cats they raise actually have feelings too? Getting older, can't bear to watch such things. Tang Wanwan stuffed chicken breast into a meat grinder to mince it, then placed the minced meat in a bowl and brought it before the two little ones. "First, have something to eat. Later, I'll fix up a nest for you both." Catching the scent of meat, the two little ones began eating quickly. Sitting in front of them, Tang Wanwan and the live stream audience could clearly see tears streaking from the corners of their eyes. Tang Wanwan leaned back in her chair, then started chatting with the viewers. "Actually, very often I advise everyone, if you want to keep a pet, it's best not to choose one that's too intelligent. The smarter the animal, the more it actually understands." During this period of their starvation, they were actually quite aware of what exactly was happening. It was just that their long companionship made it hard for them to believe this fact. The live stream barrage, it feels so awful. They clearly didn't do anything wrong. Heartache, such adorable little kittens. Not noisy or fussy, just why could Wanwan feed them a bit more? They look so pitiful. Tang Wanwan watched as the two little ones finished eating and then lay down on the observation table, reaching out to stroke their heads. "Listen, from now on, there will be food and drink for you here, but when people come in the future, you'll have to work hard to act cute, and if you're lucky, kind-hearted owners will take you away when you go to a new home. There will be a new mom or dad willing to take care of you." These two little ones are clearly among the very smart kind. Even though Tang Wanwan's sentences were long, they could understand the meaning. A new home? Hopefully they won't abandon us like Mom did. Hearing the sound coming from the little one, who was obviously the older brother, Tang Wan also rubbed his head. "Don't worry. If a new owner takes you away, they will absolutely not abandon you. Those willing to come to the adoption center to take cats home mostly carry a gentleness in their hearts." So far, Tang Wanwan has followed up with many. Once, there has never been a situation of abandonment. Holding the two little ones, she arrived at the backyard and placed them on the grass, letting them bask in the sun and familiarize themselves with the scent of other companions. Afterward, Tang Wanwan looked toward Zhang Kai, who was trying hard to feed the little tigers milk. "How is it? Any problems?" "Everything is fine, but there's been noise outside the fence all along, and I'm somewhat unsure what it is." Hearing this, Tang Wanwan paused for a moment, walked over in the direction Zhang Kai pointed. On the other side of the bamboo fence, there was indeed a faint sound, like chewing on the wall or like some animal groaning in pain. Tang Wanwan went to the other side of the fence through the back door, and the situation outside the wall came into view. An injured silly roe deer was lying on its side on the ground, struggling to bite through the bamboo. Trying to see what it tasted like, Tang Wanwan shouted toward inside the fence. "Zhang Kai, bring a small cart to me." Hearing Tang Wanwan's call, Zhang Kai reluctantly returned the two little tigers in his arms to the mother tiger, then quickly pushed a small cart and ran over from the back door. Looking at its hind leg, which was still bleeding, and its obviously pregnant belly, Tang Wanwan frowned, reached out and patted its head and asked in a tentative tone, "I'm going to take you back for treatment now. Don't resist, okay, can't bite through. So hard, let me try again. The sound coming from this silly roe deer's body. Tang Wan sighed softly, got to do it by hand, probably won't resist. The two quickly carried this silly roe deer onto the cart, pulled it back to the adoption center, then with effort got this guy onto the observation table. Afterwards, Tang Wan also connected the ultrasound's power. Can you use it? Yes, confirming Zhang Kai didn't have a problem. Tang Wan turned her head and started conducting an examination of the silly roe deer's injuries. There's a clear tearing wound on the left hind leg from the marks most likely bitten by some animal. Tang Wan used hemostatic forceps to check, didn't injure any blood vessels, then disinfected with iodophor. Only then began applying medicine to it. The results from Zhang Kai's side didn't take much longer to come out. Pregnant, a total of 2 young. Judging by the ultrasound, should have only about 10 more days until the birth period. Hearing these words, Tang Wan's hand, wrapping the gauze, paused for a moment. 2 more, yes, can clearly see the fetal heart from the beating. Performance, they appear very healthy. Watching Tang Wan diligently wrapping gauze on the silly roe deer, Zhang Kai hesitated for a moment, then softly inquired, can we also keep them? Why? Tang Wan tied a knot in the gauze, then looked at Zhang Kai, puzzled. Data on mammals. Wild silly roe deer would actually be fine too. The voice was not loud. However, it was enough for Tang Wan to hear clearly. After staring for a while, she finally began to ask, the protection center for silly roe deer, how much is the cost of food for the child? About 2,000 a month. Because the protection level is only at tier 3 and currently the fund allocation isn't very sufficient. 2,000 is also quite a lot. With recuperation plus production, they'll probably need to stay for at least 2 months. Hearing these words, Zhang Kai's wooden head only then belatedly caught on. So you're agreeing? Well, not only that, but this afternoon you need to tidy up its cage in the backyard. Then all the funding and such from the protection center, you'll have to apply for it, okay? No problem. Hearing Tang Wan agree to it, Zhang Kai felt somewhat happy despite him paying to work at Tang Wan's place in reality. In fact, his research is actually a key project. The funding authority has almost been maxed out, although the protection center is nominally his direct superior in reality. No matter what they do, they have to give him some face. After dealing with the wound, the two people worked together to lift the silly roe deer onto the cart. Tang Wan pushed this guy to a corner in the backyard and stopped. The rich aroma of food, is it for me to eat? The tigers looked at the silly roe deer pushed over by Tang Wan. The whole tiger was filled with excitement even though her body was still somewhat weak. She still pounced, no, this is not food. In a critical moment, Tang Wan quickly blocked in front of the silly roe deer. So it's not food after all, the Siberian tiger said with a regretful tone, and lost interest, lying back down on the grass. Seeing that this guy had no intention of attacking, Tang Wan also breathed a sigh of relief. But the sound from behind made Tang Wan turn her head instantly. This taste is so strange, not sure, let me taste it again. You shut up. Seeing a missing piece of the lawn, Tang Wan felt a heartache and glared fiercely at the silly roe deer who seemed confused about what happened. Tang Wan quickly stuffed this guy into a big cage. Stay, I'll get you some fruit to eat later. What is this so hard? Not sure. Let me taste it again. Looking at the silly roe deer's clear yet foolish expression was still biting the cage, Tang Wan sighed again. Then she began explaining to the live stream audience, silly roe deer, this kind of animal is also called dwarf deer, wild goat, herbivorous ruminant. Male roe deer have antlers, females do not. The reason they are called silly roe deer is largely because their brains are extremely abnormal. Most normal prey, when facing a predator, would either flee frantically or hide themselves. But silly roe deer are not like that. Even if they escape pursuit, they will come back out of curiosity to see why the chase stopped. There are even stories from before where a hunter went into the mountains to hunt, missed a shot, and it would come closer to see what made the sound. A big reason it became a protected animal is its own doing, along with Tang Wan's explanation. The live stream chat was flooded with ha 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 comments covering the screen. After chatting with the audience for a while, Zhang Kai walked over. The protection center has already agreed to provide a subsidy calculated for 2 months, totaling 5,000 yuan. All right. Clean up this guy's cage. Looking at the silly roe deer locked in the cage, Tang Wan now had quite the impulse to eat meat. 10 minutes later, she had found a grill along with a big pile of beef and lamb and then brought out the food for the cats and the mother tiger. Come on, everyone, let's have lunch together to nourish the mother tiger that had just given birth. Tang Wan specially selected a piece of lamb leg meat for it, letting it lie there and eat slowly. Geez, what the cats eat is a bit simpler. A few large bowls of cat food sprinkled with some chicken breast is enough for them to enjoy. Even the silly roe deer that came today was given to catties of apples for it to slowly munch on. Meanwhile, in the live stream audience's view, Tang Wan and Zhang Kai were eating barbecue, surrounded by dozens of cats and a pair of adult into cub Siberian tigers, with a silly roe deer in the distance acting like a divine beast, crunching on apples. The scene couldn't be more perfect, damn it. Living it up like this, life's gotten good, huh? Heh, Wan obviously has forgotten the days when she fought with the cats for chicken breast meat. Yeah, I remember back then Wan's last bowl of rice was finished. The next day you were so hungry you snatched 2 pieces of chicken breast from the cat. Right? Tang Wan's adoption center only receives a monthly funding allocation of that much. The rest is mostly euthanasia drugs used for them. Tang Wan couldn't bear to part with these little kittens. They haven't even properly enjoyed life before being euthanized for a period. The number of cats received far exceeded the standard capacity, and the adoption center's finances couldn't handle the burden, even though she tried her best to cut costs. Eventually, the day before the subsidy arrived, they completely ran out of money for food. If it hadn't been for some longtime fans helping out back then, they wouldn't have known what to feed so many cats. As the aroma of barbecue spread throughout the yard, Zhang Kai beside her appeared unusually silent. I still think eating too much meat in the morning was somewhat wrong. Vegetables are essential nutrients for the human body. Hearing this, not only Tang Wan but even the live stream chat was flooded with a wave of question marks. This guy still hasn't figured out the topic from this morning. That was clearly just pulling his leg. Looking at Zhang Kai's serious, thoughtful expression, Tang Wan pondered for a moment, then continued to string him along. As the saying goes, eat well for breakfast, eat until full for lunch, and eat light for dinner. See, my 2 meals are fine, right? Zhang Kai thought it over carefully, then nodded in agreement. Then let's eat less for dinner and use vegetables to supplement nutrition. Wouldn't that work? Tang Wan's words. Zhang Kai was plunged into contemplation once more, and ultimately, with a face full of happiness, he nodded. It's just that watching him being fooled, the live stream audience couldn't help but start complaining. Buddy, you can't believe her. Last time, she said she'd eat vegetables, but ended up holding a whole basin of greens to dip in hot pot. Lee, absolutely don't believe her tricks. Before last she said that, but what she ate was lettuce wrapped barbecue. The tearful accusations in the live stream naturally weren't picked up by Zhang Kai. After finishing the barbecue, Tang Wan brought the 2 new little ones that arrived today close to her, holding a small comb to help groom their fur, and incidentally started directing. Zhang Kai, don't lie down after eating, it's bad for digestion. Go clean the litter box and then scrub the dirtier cages. The afternoon hours weather for Tang Wan or the live stream audience were relatively peaceful. Big Meow and Little Kitten gathered on the backyard lawn, basking in the sunshine. A large group of cats, freed from the confines of their cages, played and ran freely in the backyard. Pick up any one of them, and their whole body is soft and warm, of course. In such a cozy environment, there are always 2 misfits. One is Zhang Kai, who constantly thinks about harassing the Siberian tiger, and the other is the silly roe deer that occasionally wants to try what the cage tastes like. As the sun set and the sky darkened slightly, Tang Wan said to the live stream, it seems there won't be any adopters coming today. The live stream is about to end here. Remember our slogan, adopt instead of buying. See you all tomorrow. Tang Wan turned off the live stream and looked at Zhang Kai. In a while, you changed the medicine for the silly roe deer. Then after that, today's work is considered finished. Good, then tomorrow morning I'll still come at this times after coming, it's still the same work as today. Tang Wan's figure slipped into the kitchen not long after. She brought out 2 fully loaded Northeast big rice wraps, inside wrapped with meat. Zhang Kai, sitting at the dining table, looked at the rice wrap as big as his face, almost the same size, his face full of doubt. Didn't you say we'd eat some vegetables at night? Yes. Look at this big is the outside of the rice wrap made of vegetables after dinner ended. Tang Wanwan set the alarm and also brought the 2 thermostatic boxes. The little tiger walked into the room, but what met its eyes was the mother tiger lazily sprawled on the floor, constantly pawing at a rubber ball. Tang Wanwan was puzzled. Are you sleeping here tonight? I want to spend more time looking at the children, all right. I'll leave the children next to you. I'll wake up at night to feed them. Patting the Siberian tiger's big head, Tang Wanwan also lay down on the bed. The next morning, Tang Wanwan stretched, looking at the mother tiger holding the little ones beside her. Tang Wanwan also hugged the big head of this big creature. Sleep a bit longer. I'll bring food over for you later. When feline bodies are weak, sleep is the most effective way to recover, especially for a mother tiger weakened by childbirth. Thank you. The mother tiger nuzzled Tang Wanwan with its head, looking at the big cat's lazy appearance. Tang Wanwan's face filled with a bright smile, but that smile instantly vanished upon seeing the backyard. Looking out the bamboo fence next to the silly roe deer's cage had been gnawed into a huge hole. You better shut your mouth for me, old lady. The explosive roar made the cats on the first floor let out meows, and a few smart ones, awakened from their dreams, instantly started complaining. Oh no, the 2-legged beast is going crazy again and again. Hey, my little girl cat just got woken up like this. Hope the 2-legged beast's fit of madness this time doesn't drag us into it. Tang Wan glared fiercely at the cat who was complaining, then quickly ran to the silly roe deer's cage side. Hey, human, why do you look so angry? The silly roe deer chewed on the dry bamboo, staring at Tang Wan with a pair of curious eyes. Wan, that innocent expression made Tang Wanwan feel the urge to roast it. Today, you can't eat this, you understand. I can bite through it. The voice coming from the silly roe deer made Tang Wanwan completely unable to hold back her anger, and she slapped it directly on its head. I said you can't eat it, so you can't eat it. In the future, anything not placed in the cage for you to eat, you can't eat. The long sentence was quite difficult for this silly roe deer to understand. After pondering carefully for a moment, its tone suddenly filled with grievance. If I'm not allowed to eat, then I won't eat, human. You're so mean. Tang Wanwan gritted her teeth with a creaking sound, taking 2 deep breaths in succession to calm her mood a bit. Ouch. Why can't I move my head? The silly roe deer's voice made Tang Wanwan pause for a moment, and her gaze also fell on its head sticking out of the cage. Although it's unclear how this silly thing squeezed it out, but now it seems wanting to pull it back is no longer possible. Tang Wanwan let out a deep sigh again. You just stay stuck and play for a while. Wait until Zhang Kai comes to saw the cage. Save you. Anyway, it's already been stuck for a whole night. A little more time won't make a difference. By the time Zhang Kai arrives, the 2 people briefly had breakfast, and then Tang Wanwan brought the tigress and her 2 cubs to the backyard, starting the live stream not far from the silly roe deer's location. Good morning, everyone. 2 things happened this morning. First, the 2 tiger cubs have already adapted to their current life. The second thing is, as you can all see, this silly roe deer has gotten itself stuck in the cage. Haha, that wise look in its eyes, it's killing me. I can't, it looks so silly. Wanwan, what should we do? Do we need to call the firefighters for help? Tang Wanwan explained. No need to trouble the firefighters. The welding material of this kind of cage is all iron. Zhang Kai is already assembling the iron saw. It won't be long before they can rescue it. As she said this, Tang Wan couldn't help but wear a smile. After all, a pair of eyes revealing an I'm not clever silly roe deer with its head stuck, tilting its head to look at you. Few people could resist laughing at such a scene. Zhang Kai didn't take long to assemble the iron saw and began working on the cage, while Tang Wanwan casually picked up a passing ragdoll cat and held it in her arms. Are there any who want to adopt today? Before Tang Wanwan could check the live stream comments, the little ragdoll in her arms voiced dissatisfaction. 2-legged beast, big bad guy, don't hold this lord like this. It's very uncomfortable. If it weren't for you serving me good food, I would have bitten you right now. Hearing the muttering from her arms, Tang Wanwan gave it a flick on the forehead. Behave and I'll reward you with a piece of meat later. For cats, a forehead flick combined with meat clearly has an extraordinary effect. 2-legged beast, you should have said so earlier. If there's meat, you can hold me however you want. Meow, do I look good? If that's not enough, I can even show off for you. Most cats are the shameless type, and Tang Wanwan has long been used to it. She was just about to introduce the cat to the live stream when someone suddenly arrived outside the courtyard gate. Excuse me, is Tang Wan here? Hello, what's the matter? Tang Wanwan looked at the sudden air. Now appearing as a man, I am a zookeeper at heart's home animal. Something I'd like to invite you to help with. You say, our zoos. Recent Arctic foxes have all shown signs of malnutrition. We've sought many people but haven't found the cause on the live stream. I saw your strong ability to communicate with animals. Could you come with me to take a look? Hearing this, Tang Wanwan was also stunned for a moment. Time-wise, I might be a bit tight after all. This nutrition center. Tang Wanwan's words weren't finished when the zookeeper spoke first. We'll pay. The zoo director says as long as you can find the reason, we are willing to pay a 10,000 yuan travel allowance. As soon as the words were spoken, Tang Wanwan was already holding her backpack and standing at the door. Let's go now. The little foxes being malnourished, how heartbreaking to see. The zookeeper looked at the person who suddenly appeared beside him and was stunned for a moment. Their exchange made the live stream chat surge like a tsunami. Ha ha ha, you read people so well. To be honest, that's too much money. Wanwan would do it even for 2,000, dying of laughter. Before the zookeeper could react, Wanwan was already packed up. Half an hour later, Tang Wanwan and the zookeeper arrived at the zoo. New Home Zoo is considered one of the best zoos in the city. Most of the animals are raised plump and healthy. Tang Wanwan had been here a few times before opening her nutrition center too, and especially liked this place. The two Bengal tigers that were being raised not long after an old man wearing a Zhongshan suit with graying hair appeared. Miss Tang, hello. I am the zoo director here, Song Ziking. Hello. Can we go see the Arctic foxes now? The 10,000 yuan was pushing Tang Wanwan to quickly get into work mode, otherwise she wouldn't feel at ease taking this money. They soon arrived in front of the glass room where there were as many as 5 or 6 Arctic foxes with their tails drooping, lying on the ground looking somewhat listless. Miss Tang, these Arctic foxes were just introduced this year, and after adapting to the environment a while ago, we started exhibiting them. But in less than a week, they showed signs of malnutrition. Tang Wanwan looked through the glass for a while, then turned her head to look at Director Song. Can I see their recent food intake records? Yes. They're all here. The keeper nearby took out a stack of A4 papers and handed them to Tang Wanwan. In the morning, each of the 5 Arctic foxes was fed a considerable amount of blood. During the free time in the morning, they were given a large pile of fruit. In the afternoon, each Arctic fox ate 2 rabbits. And after closing in the evening, they were also given a lot of vegetables for supplementation. According to this amount of food, let alone malnutrition, if they weren't overeating, it would be thanks to their good digestive systems. Tang Wanwan frowned and thought for a moment, then spoke. How was their eating behavior for breakfast and dinner, since there's no need for exhibition? I was watching them while they ate, and I could say they were devouring their food. Listening to the keeper's description, Tang Wanwan also knew clearly that from a veterinarian's perspective, indeed, no reason could be found. I'll go in and take a look. Can you prepare to for me? Rabbits, Director Song agreed without the slightest hesitation, taking out 2 freshly killed rabbits from today in the nearby refrigerated cabinet. The keeper helped cut them into small pieces, then led Tang Wanwan toward the Arctic foxes. The 5 snow-white foxes excitedly gathered around as they saw the keeper approaching. So hungry, can we eat now? So hungry, I think I smell meat. Hearing the voices in her ears, Tang Wanwan slightly frowned. She placed the rabbit meat in front of the few Arctic foxes. The animals in the zoo are different from wild animals. They have undergone socialization training, even though they were very hungry now. None pounced to snatch it. Instead, they all looked with pleading eyes. God looked at the keeper. It's edible. Hearing this, 5 big white fluff balls quickly started eating in the live streams chat. Seeing the scene, the bullet comments instantly surged. No way. On that feeding list just now, each Arctic fox should at least get 2 rabbits. How could they be starving like this? It shouldn't be. An Arctic fox's appetite is about 1 rabbit a day. More than enough, let alone breakfast and dinner. Also have other food. Starving like this, no wonder they're malnourished. Taking advantage of the little one's chow time, Tang Wanwan stroked a talkative Arctic fox. How many rabbits did you eat yesterday? Why are you so hungry, Just 3 mouthfuls, only 3 rabbits in total, not nearly enough to eat. Only 3. Hearing the Arctic fox's words, Tang Wanwan was stunned. For a moment, 2 rabbits per Arctic fox is the optimal amount. If 5 Arctic foxes only get to share 3 rabbits, forget about nutritional balance, they can't even eat their fill. No wonder they're starving like this. Hearing Tang Wanwan's murmur, the nearby keeper's eyes immediately lit up. Miss Tang, did you find the reason? Tang Wanwan shook her head, frowning as she pondered the possibilities. The keeper's records here are definitely not the issue since 10 rabbits really did leave the warehouse. Could the keeper be skimming? Thinking carefully, that probably isn't likely either. Well, if we were going to skimp, we wouldn't have asked her to come. Today, my gaze inadvertently fell upon the small one next to the glass room. The pond, what is that for? The keeper explained. That is for visitors to feed from. The food will slide down the pipe into that small pond. You still allow visitors to feed? Hearing the keeper's words, Tang Wanwan almost jumped up. Animals' diets are very different from humans. Many things that humans can eat are poison tube animals. Don't worry. Feeding here only allows food purchased from the park, and much of what is bought is the animal's daily meals. It also counts as extra income. The keeper's words opened Tang Wanwan's train of thought. Her gaze swept over the surveillance outside the glass room. Let's go to the monitoring room. I think I've found the Ori. Done. Hearing this, the keeper was filled with surprise. All right, I'll take you there right now. With Director Song, the keeper arrived at the pris. In the control room, Tang Wanwan instructed the staff to pull up the information of the customers who bought the Arctic fox rabbits yesterday to see whether they actually fed the rabbits. Upon hearing Tang Wanwan's words, everyone present was stunned. You're saying someone bought rabbits meant for feeding the Arctic foxes but didn't feed them, and instead took them home? Tang Wanwan nodded. If she wasn't mistaken, that was probably the case, although she also found it somewhat hard to believe. After ruling out all other impossibilities, this was the only remaining answer. As the technician operated, they quickly located the few tourists who had purchased rabbits. 4 people in total, among whom 3 had fed the rabbits not long after buying them. There was only a middle-aged woman in her 40s, who bought 7 at once, put them into her own backpack, and then swaggered out of the zoo. Seeing the footage displayed on the surveillance, the keeper couldn't help but complain. What the hell? Competing with the foxes for food? Is she sick? The surveillance footage locked onto this woman, showing that for several consecutive days, she had been taking away the Arctic fox's main food like this. Sometimes 7, sometimes 8. No wonder these little ones were starving like this. The zoo director was greatly alarmed. Xiaohu, call the police quickly. Director, the amount probably isn't enough to file a case, right? Their zoo's rabbits are 10 yuan each. And when purchasing, it's clearly stated that what you're buying is the right to feed, not the rabbits themselves. Even though the woman had been doing this for several days, the amount involved in the crime was far from reaching the standard for filing a case. What are you thinking? Did you forget what we applied to the rabbits? Quickly have the police contact her to go to the hospital. The director's words made the keeper pause for a moment. Then his expression immediately changed drastically, and he quickly picked up the phone to dial the police. Tang Wanwan looked at the director in confusion, and the director hesitated for a moment before saying, these Arctic foxes were the zoo introduced for breeding purposes. On rabbit meat, we applied a layer of drug to accelerate reproduction. Although they are all some herbal medicines, the efficacy of veterinary drugs is generally quite strong. Hearing this, Tang Wanwan's eyes twitched a few times. Originally, the rabbit is specifically for tourists to feed, and it was clearly stated when purchasing that what's being bought is the feeding right, not the rabbit itself. The auntie taking the rabbit away already constitutes the crime of theft. If she had eaten the rabbit herself, it might have been one thing. At most, her old man would suffer a bit, but if it's for giving away or selling, Tang Wanwan suspects she could even be accused of poisoning. The barrage, the live stream completely surged up, churning like a tsunami. Veterinary use, I already don't dare imagine what the auntie's home is like. Seriously, what was this auntie thinking? A rabbit doesn't even cost much, and she still tries to take advantage like this. After finishing the contact, the police keeper took a long time to return. Her eyes filled with complexity. Director, We might need to go to the police station to give a statement. Seeing the keeper's look of being on the verge of speaking but holding back, Tang Wanwan and the viewers in the live stream had reached the peak of their gossipy curiosity. The zoo director sighed, nodded to the keeper, signaling for her to continue. After all, in this kind of matter, the fault doesn't lie with the zoo. Even if it spreads from Tang Wanwan's live stream, it shouldn't cause any impact. It might even help us ride the wave of popularity, bring some traffic to the amusement park. Upon hearing this, the keeper continued, this middle-aged woman specializes in rabbit meat, and on a regular day, she sells about a dozen rabbits. After discovering that our place offers cheaper wholesale prices, more than half of her raw materials now come from our place. 6 people have already filed police reports, and this woman was taken under police control an hour ago. The park director sighed again and said, you go. Handle the police statement since you know the situation. Remember to bring the surveillance footage. Director Song's weak, dispirited voice almost made Tang Wanwan burst out laughing from holding it in. The entire zoo had checked everything top to bottom, yet never imagined someone would compete with the Arctic foxes for their food. I'll handle today's feeding, and I can also help do an inspection while I'm at it. With a rare chance to get close and pet the Arctic foxes, Tang Wanwan wasn't willing to give that up for anything. Then I'll trouble you, Miss Tang. Director Song was old and shrewd. How could he not see what Tang Wanwan was thinking? But after all, Tang Wanwan was also a veterinarian and had helped the zoo solve a big problem. As soon as Tang Wanwan entered the Arctic fox enclosure with food, a few little ones came trotting over, wagging their tails. Big sister has something tasty. I can smell it, so fragrant like chicken. I smell fish, too. This time we should be able to eat our fill, right? Oh, please let there be enough to eat. Looking at the expectant eyes before her, Tang Wanwan first took out the fish from the box. 5 fish in total, so each little one could get one. Wow, it's fish. Whimper, can we eat now? Tang Wanwan smiled and said, eat up. As soon as she gave the command, the little ones immediately hugged the fish and began to devour them ravenously. Tang Wanwan then explained to the live stream audience, and they have high intelligence. If raised for a bit longer, they can understand many commands, and although Arctic foxes are currently protected animals, making them difficult to raise in captivity, if anyone is interested, red foxes are currently a breed open to personal ownership. Ah, so foxes can be kept as personal pets? Is the red fox the one wearing black stockings? Tang Wanwan picked one from the 5 white furry bundles and held it in her arms. Since the little one was raised by humans, it showed no resistance to being held and continued to munch on the fish. A single fish didn't last even 10 minutes in the mouths of a group of starving Arctic foxes. Tang Wanwan then poured out the chicken from the box, casually picked up a large chicken leg and stuffed it into the little thing's mouth in her arms. So fragrant. Big sister is really kind. So delicious. Big sister must come more often in the future. Just eating their fill is enough. What about the little brother from before? I still really like the way he smiles. He's a love able human. Being full is the most important thing. Even though big sister is also very beautiful. Listening to the chattering voices of this group of Arctic foxes, Tang Wanwan raised an eyebrow. A bunch of little ones who can't even see colors properly, and yet their still looks obsessed. I won't compete with your little brother for his job. He'll still be the one to feed you in the future. Tang Wanwan's sudden interjection caused several Arctic foxes to lift their heads with shocked expressions. Even the chicken leg in the mouth of the fox in her arms fell out. A monster? Oh no, humans can understand our speech. Now, tell us, big sister, are you the legendary monster? The cute and adorable little ones also made Tang Wanwan feel a mix of amusement and exasperation. She reached out and stuffed the chicken leg that had fallen aside back into its mouth. Don't look at me like that. I'm not a monster. I just happen to understand what you mean. Although the little ones were shocked, in the end, because of their hunger, they gave up the idea of continuing to investigate. Tang Wanwan played with this group of Arctic foxes for a while with the live stream audience, and then went to find Director Song. Director, these Arctic foxes of yours are intended for breeding, right? Yes, with 2 males and 3 females for breeding. Next year it should add about a dozen more to the zoo. Hearing this, Tang Wanwan rubbed her hands together with an expectant expression. He inquired, then when the time comes, can I purchase a cub? I have my own ways to handle the matter of qualification. Seeing the hopeful look in Tang Wanwan's eyes, a smile also appeared on the zoo director's face. Of course, no problem, if you really like it, when there are babies, I'll give you one. Well, thank you in advance, director. As their eyes met, both smiled with expressions of having scored a great deal. Tang Wanwan's smile was naturally because she could get an Arctic fox cub for free, while the director's smile was more meaningful. Tang Wanwan's abilities naturally need no elaboration. Don't forget, she spent a full 10,000 this time to hire someone. If he could build a good relationship with Tang Wanwan using an Arctic fox cub, then in the future, if the animals had problems that couldn't be diagnosed, would he need to spend money to invite Tang Wanwan? After chatting briefly with the director, Tang Wanwan received the money and bid farewell. After all, leaving Zhang Kai alone at the adoption center, she was still somewhat uneasy with that blockhead. Who knows what he might do beyond normal human comprehension. Tang Wanwan whistled all the way back to the adoption center. Just as she stepped through the gate, she heard Zhang Kai's pleading, desperate wail. No, it's not food, you can't eat it. Then followed a tone of exasperation. It's about to eat you. Why are you still approaching it? You need to stop. Then he switched again. The sounds turned into pleading wails. They really can't be eaten. Hearing the sounds coming from the backyard, Tang Wanwan immediately quickened her pace. What met her eyes was Zhang Kai blocking the mother tiger head on, his back firmly blocking the silly dog, trying to press forward. Seeing the scene, Tang Wanwan sighed and patted the mother tiger's head. Stop fooling around. Neither of them is smart. Zhang Kai, behind her, was taken aback for a moment. She probably wasn't talking about him, right? Hearing this, the Siberian tiger looked with regretful eyes, then lay down on the ground. Tang Wanwan stuffed the silly dog back into its cage. Her gaze turned to the cats playing in the wind and sunbathing, and an idea surfaced in her mind. To be honest, relying on live streams to find adopters has too low a success rate. Only about a dozen get adopted in a whole month. It's not that people nowadays are unwilling to adopt, but all kinds of worries, plus being trapped in information cocoons, make it hard for them to find adoption centers. After pondering for a while, Tang Wanwan started discussing with Zhang Kai, who was seriously recording data beside her. Zhang Kai, how about we organize an adoption event? What do you mean? It's like hosting an activity. We rent a venue, take the cats there for an exhibition. Maybe we'll encounter many people willing to adopt. Hearing Tang Wanwan's idea, Zhang Kai thought for a moment, then nodded affirmatively. Head, if enough people know about this event, according to the normal ratio, the probability of adoption will also be very high. Since you also think it's no problem, then it's settled. Action speaks louder than desire. Tang Wanwan directly called the pedestrian street management center, rented a space at a daily rate of 4,000. After hanging up the phone, Tang Wanwan pointed the live stream camera at herself and told everyone some good news. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., I will hold the first event of the adoption center at Mountain City Pedestrian Street. I will bring about 40 cats for on-site adoption. If anyone is interested, you can come to the venue tomorrow and pick one you like to take home. Also, give me a suggestion. What would be a better name for this event? How about come and take one away? That sounds terrible. How about hug a cat? I think it should be called Meow Meow One Punch Kills You. After intense debate in the bullet comments and Tang Wanwan's multiple vetoes, a decent name was finally decided. Seeking home, whether in terms of meaning or how pleasant it sounds, it's much better than something like Meow Meow One Punch Kills You. The next morning, to transport all these cats to the pedestrian street, Tang Wanwan hired a truck for delivery. At 8:30, the two had already arrived at the destination on time. Zhang Kai placed each cat along with its cage on the site, while Tang Wanwan operated the computer. On the LED, the detailed rules for adoption were displayed on the screen. The busyness of the two had long attracted a crowd not far away, watching. After all, with so many cats, plus the clearly visible free adoption on the LED screen nearby, it was enough to spark the curiosity of a crowd. So many two-legged beasts. Come take a look at me. I need someone to take me away and serve me. Hey, two-legged beast, look at me. I'm the cutest here. Under Tang Wanwan's bestowed brainwashing, the cats enthusiastically called out to their future owners. Tang Wanwan had brought a total of 45 cats this time, about 30 of which were relatively clever, along with a few silly cats that were peeing outside their cages. Everything was ready. Tang Wanwan hung the live streaming equipment to the side and clicked the button to start the broadcast. A circle of people had already gathered on site. Tang Wanwan picked up the microphone. Today is our adoption center's first cat adoption event. Everyone can observe the kittens up close. If you have a specific type in mind, you can also tell me. All the cats on the shelves are free after confirming the adoption. We'll also give you a bag of cat food to help you through the food transition period. Tang Wanwan's voice made the surrounding crowd begin to surge toward the cats. Hello, can I take a look at that cat? The first to walk over was a young woman, of course. Tang Wanwan reached out to take the silver, shaded cat from the young lady's fingers. The little one's eyes lit up upon seeing the young lady. Rising up, beautiful two-legged beast, this kitty likes you so much. The silver-shaded cat, the moment it left Tang Wanwan's hands, snuggled right up to the young lady's leg. The young lady stroked the silver-shaded cat's head with her hand and asked, "Little one, are you willing to come home with me?" Willing. This kitty is absolutely willing. As long as you don't make me eat that awful pig feed in that dumpy place. This beautiful two-legged beast can take me anywhere. Hearing that little one meowing non-stop, the young lady could hardly contain the smile at the corner of her mouth, while Tang Wanwan simply felt her vision darken. Wasn't it just last time when the adoption center ran out of funds? They fed them subpar food for 2 days. Is it really necessary to hold such a grudge? Are there any other conditions for adoption? The young lady looked up and asked. Although she had just been complained about by the silver-shaded cat, it was still a little one that ultimately needed to be sent off. Tang Wanwan, barely resisting the impulse to give it a flick on the forehead, pointed at Zhongkai nearby. Go over there and sign an adoption agreement. Then take it to get a bag of cat food and its vaccination booklet, and you can take it away. Thank you. The young lady looked at the silver-shaded cat snuggling and acting spoiled in her arms, and grew fonder the more she looked. I'll take you to the pet store later to buy cans. Be good, okay? Hearing cans, the silver-shaded cat acted even more spoiled. I have to work even harder now. I'm good. This kitty is really well behaved. The live stream audience saw a cat being successfully taken away and immediately cheered. Everyone take a guess. Can we have 10 cats adopted out today in the live stream? Under the fervent barrage of comments, Tang Wanwan soon welcomed the second adopter. The man held his daughter's little hand and pointed at a Liwa cat not far away. Hello. Can I take a look at that one? Hearing this, Tang Wanwan responded with pleasant surprise, of course, no problem. There are very few people who adopt Liwa cats. Most adopters prefer pedigreed cats, often overlooking common types like Liwa and orange cats. But in reality, as breeds naturally bred in China, Liwa and orange cats have very stable genes, whether regarding intestinal issues or this is shedding, a problem that frequently occurs in most breeds of cats, but is rarely seen in tabby and ginger cats. Tang Wanwan picked up the tabby cat from the cage and placed it on the table. The little one glanced at the man, then turned its attention to the little girl beside her. Meow. First came a small, soft sound, then the tabby cat began to continuously show off its figure to the little girl. I'm trying so hard. Why isn't this little kid planning to pick me up yet? So tired. This flirtatious thing really isn't something I can handle. Amid the tabby cat's incessant complaints, the little girl finally carefully picked it up, then turned a pair of pleading eyes towards her father. Promise after taking it home, you're responsible for its food and cleaning the litter box on weekdays, okay? Upon hearing this, the little girl happily hugged the little tabby. Just after sending off the second adopter, a short-haired little girl squeezed in front of Tang Wanwan. Wanwan, I finally made it through. A fan? Yes, that especially fat ginger cat. And that chubby blue and white one. Did you bring them? Hearing this, Tang Wanwan knew this person must have been watching her live stream for a long time. The 2 cats she mentioned had both been living at the adoption center for quite some time when they were first rescued. These 2 little ones weighed less than 2 pounds, but in just 6 months they had already grown into trucks. Both are here. I'll help you carry them out. Tang Wanwan found these 2 sleeping soundly on the shelf goods, then reached out and poked them. Stop messing around, we're sleeping. Is it mealtime? Tang Wanwan struggled to place these 2 spherical cats on the counter. The blue and white cat opened its mouth in a huge yawn. then looked at the young lady with a confused face. The orange cat was even more excessive facing. The young lady's petting it simply changed its position and slept even more soundly looking at these two lazy creatures. The young lady, with a smile, took out 2 cans from her backpack. A rich aroma spread, and the 2 lazy goods lying on the counter instantly stood up. It's mealtime, so fragrant, it's canned food. The canned food this cat loves most. The 2 plump cats eagerly started eating in big mouthfuls, and the young lady also contentedly rubbed the fat on their bodies with her hands. Both parties doing their own thing mutually undisturbed. These 2 are the ones. I want to take them both. Just sign the agreement over there, but I want to ask you a question. These 2 together weigh close to 40 pounds. Can you carry them home? Tang Wanwan's words left the fangirl stunned in place, a pair of confused eyes looking at the 2 trucks on the counter. Before coming, she had prepared the litter box, replacement cat food, and all the daily necessities for the cats, but she never considered how to take them back. In the exchange of glances, Tang Wanwan offered a somewhat reasonable wrong suggestion. Why don't you call a cargo van? In one whole day, Tang Wanwan and Zhang Kai sent out a total of 26 kittens, which, compared to before, is nearly 2 months' worth, for the adoption center. After finishing the day-long event, returning to the adoption center, Tang Wanwan was so exhausted that her whole body collapsed onto the sofa. Zhang Kai, the little tiger's milk needs to be changed, and all the cat litter and cat food at home need to be replaced too. Tang Wanwan's weak and feeble voice made Zhang Kai fall silent with a complex look in his eyes for a long time, ultimately letting out a sigh, standing up from the sofa, supporting his lower back as he walked toward the door. Zhang Kai, covered in exhaustion, busied himself for half an hour before finishing all these tasks. Tang Wanwan looked at the dark kitchen and finally sighed. How about we go out to eat tonight, just as a celebration? Today has already worn me out to the point of muscle soreness. Cooking is definitely not happening, only relying on restaurants outside can keep life going. Let's order takeout, let me rest a bit. Zhang Kai looked at the Siberian tiger that had moved closer, but his fingers didn't even have the strength to pick up a pen to record. Human, you look like you're in really bad shape. Are you sick? The Siberian tiger rubbed its head against Tang Wanwan, its eyes filled with concern. It's nothing, just too tired. Rubbing the big guy's head, Tang Wanwan couldn't help but sigh. Even though they're both felines, this a group of kittens that I took good care of, feeding them well and keeping them comfortable, can really be called rebellious sons. Then look at the personality of this northeast golden gradient. It's better than this group of rebellious sons by who knows how many times. After taking a short rest, Tang Wanwan took out her phone and ordered several takeout meals. Watching the mother tiger lying at her feet, she went to the kitchen again and brought out a basin of lamb meat, placing it beside the northeast tiger. Time to eat. Along with Tang Wanwan's command, the northeast tiger stood up and began to tear into the lamb meat in large bites. Seeing this scene, Zhang Kai's eyes lit up and he looked at Tang Wanwan with a pleading gaze. I want, then you ask it. Tang Wanwan understood Zhang Kai's meaning. After all, the mother tiger had rested for 2 days, and now her body had shown obvious improvement. Originally, she had some difficulty standing up, but now she could move around freely. Based on these signs, it was normal for Zhang Kai to want to get close again. To add some new data to the research, the mother tiger glanced at Zhang Kai with full disdain but still shifted her body slightly. This human and tiger were not interacting for the first time. Seeing this movement, Zhang Kai quickly approached the mother tiger's side, one hand continuously touching the mother tiger's body. After a thorough examination, Zhang Kai turned his head with a look of pleasant surprise. Wanwan, I found a very critical node. What? The zoo's mother tiger. After giving birth, usually a minimum of half a month recovery period is needed to ensure one's strength and physical recovery after that. All my previous experiments were built upon this foundation. But after the first batch of drugs was used, the reproduction of wild animals was not ideal. Now seeing this female tiger, I have finally found the reason: the physical fitness and muscle density of wild animals, as well as their diet, are fundamentally different from those of animals in zoos. To be stricter, calculating animals bred in captivity for 3 generations and those living and reproducing entirely in the wild are, in certain aspects, already two completely different species. Tang Wanwan also has some understanding of Zhang Kai's experiments. She knows that once this drug Once the research and development is successful, then for some specific species, breeding will play an unparalleled role, especially like in the Northeast. Tigers, such large felines, require just 3 days of medication to guarantee a 100% success rate in breeding. So, what you did before? What about the experiment? Hearing Tang Wanwan's words, Zhang Kai fell silent for a moment before, still making a decision. Set it aside first. I still need to observe wild animal data for at least half a year to guarantee the accuracy of that experiment. Hearing this, Tang Wanwan's eyes lit up, her smile full of mischief. But have you considered that this Siberian tiger is going to be released into the wild in a while? Zhang Kai was completely stunned, his gaze fixed on the tigress, rigid for a long time, before finally shifting his eyes to Tang Wanwan. Can we discuss letting this family of 3 stay here a while longer? Tang Wanwan raised an eyebrow, almost failing to suppress the smile at the corner of her mouth. You know, our adoption. The center's funds have never been abundant. Raising an adult Siberian tiger can be said to be very difficult. Don't worry. I can solve the funding problem, whether it's allocation or my research funds are absolutely sufficient. That's fine, I agree. If it really doesn't work, I said I agree, really. Zhang Kai's face was full of surprise, originally thinking it would take a lot of talking and would require promising many benefits, never expecting Tang Wan to agree so easily, which made Zhang Kai suddenly sensed something abnormal. Wait, you didn't already want to keep them 3, right? Looking at Zhang Kai's vigilant gaze, Tang Wanwan's face first turned red, then she proudly raised her head. How could that be? How about contacting the protection organization for release now? Having grasped Zhang Kai's weak point, how could Tang Wanwan not be able to fool this wooden head? Then it's fine. After going through an adoption event, the adoption center became much quieter. After all, more than 20 cats were gone at once. But this tranquility ended on the 4th night with the silly deer's howl announcing the end. Tang Wanwan was just about to end today's live stream when she heard a sharp howl from the backyard. She quickly pushed open the back door. What met her eyes was the silly deer leaning against the cage, breathing heavily with difficulty, beside a group of little kittens chirping. What's wrong? Isn't it sick? I quite like this silly fellow. I hope nothing is wrong. Tang Wanwan usually dislikes this silly roe deer. But after all, not only does this guy look fun, its personality is also silly and dumb. After these days of interaction, I've already treated it as a member of the adoption center. She first reached out to feel the silly roe deer's heart rate, then asked, "How do you feel? Where are you? Uncomfortable stomach? It hurts." With the silly roe deer's response, Tang Wanwan finally confirmed what happened without surprise. This guy should be going into premature labor. Tang Wanwan sighed and explained to the live stream audience that silly roe deer creatures are different from Siberian tigers. Their due dates are mostly inaccurate and even often can be off by up to 10 days. Why didn't we notice before? Wanwan's knowledge is so high. Just kidding. Our Wanwan classmate is, after all, a graduate of a prestigious university. It looks so uncomfortable. Is it really okay? Don't worry. Now it's just the early stage of labor. And we're always here guarding this. Guy has been eating and drinking well at the adoption center these days, so it definitely has the energy for childbirth. After guarding with the live stream audience for about 4 hours, the silly roe deer finally stopped crying and started crouching down. Seeing this, Tang Wanwan immediately stood up, quickly took out a pair of medical disposable gloves to give self. I simply disinfected it and then started helping the silly roe deer give birth. Compared to the last time with that Siberian tiger, this time was simply much smoother. After all, the cubs were developing normally. The silly roe deer had plenty of energy, and with her by its side, helping, in less than half an hour, the 2 cubs were successfully born. I want to eat. Tang Wanwan hadn't even stepped away yet when she heard a sound coming from the silly roe deer. Wait, I'll prepare some cabbage for you. Compared to the Siberian tiger, raising a silly roe deer is so much simpler. Tang Wanwan placed 2 cabbages next to the silly roe deer, then checked the 2 cubs, and after confirming that both were very healthy, she closed the door. Tang Wanwan looked at her phone and bid farewell to the audience. That's all for today's live stream. We'll see you tomorrow without fail. She slept until the sky was bright, and by the time Tang Wanwan got up, Zhang Kai had already taken all the cats downstairs to the backyard, and the Siberian tiger also held her own. Two cubs in her mouth, habitually lying down in front of Zhang Kai. Why did you wake up so late? Did you stay up? Tang Wanwan let out a huge yawn. Last night, the silly roe deer gave birth prematurely. I stayed up most of the night watching over it. Hearing this, Zhang Kai's eyes lit up. Where? I'll go take a look. Tang Wanwan took a bite of a steamed bun before replying. The third room on the right on the second floor, and by the way, bring some food for that silly roe deer. After finishing breakfast, Tang Wanwan found a list and then opened the live stream room as a large number of viewers flooded in. Tang Wanwan took out the list from earlier and displayed it in front of the camera. Longtime fans who have followed me for a while should know that our live stream has always had a staple segment. An 8-year fan arriving, uninvited. Today is the follow-up visit. I know, it's the much-anticipated follow-up segment, haha. Every time this segment comes around, I can't help but want to laugh out loud. After simply organizing the list, Tang Wanwan made phone calls, one by one. Today is the weekend. Most office workers are basically off. After confirming a few follow-up locations, Tang Wanwan found Zhang Kai, explained the situation to him, and then took the car keys and walked out of the adoption center's door, soon arriving at a residential complex entrance. A girl waved at Tang Wanwan. Wanwan, over here. Seeing her adopter, Tang Wanwan's face also filled with a lot of smiles. Soon, the two walked into the young woman's residence, pushing open the door. The first thing that caught the eye was 3 plump, large cats lazily lying around the room. Hey, I think I smell that two-legged creature's scent. Hiss. She isn't here to take us back to a life of hardship, is she? Where is it? Listening to the sounds of 3 cats, Tang Wanwan's face darkened, but still, business comes first. She took out a form grid, start filling in according to the cats. Every cat that comes to the adoption center has its own little book. It records everything about it, from the day it was sent to the adoption center, to the follow-up records after being adopted, out each year, all the way until this little cat passes away. The little book will always exist at the adoption center. What's being filled in now is the cat's status after being adopted. After finishing, Tang Wanwan casually pulled one over and took a few glances. It must be said, the young lady took very good care of these 3 little ones. Places like their noses and ears were all very clean. These 3 cats USU. How was its performance during the day? Pretty good. It's just that the blue cat seems to be getting lazier and lazier. Hearing this, Tang Wanwan pulled the blue cat into her arms and gave it a quick check. Then she frowned. During this period, if you have time, bring it to me for a detailed examination. It might be because it's too overweight, which could be causing some heart issues. Hearing Tang Wanwan's words, the young lady's hand holding the freeze-dried treat couldn't help but tremble. Will it be dangerous? In the short term, it won't, but heart problems are hard to predict. The best solution is to help it lose weight. Seizing this opportunity, Tang Wanwan also educated the audience in the live stream. Not every cat can be raised to be very, very chubby. This is something everyone must pay attention to. Many breeds of cats have congenital hidden heart conditions. These heart conditions don't affect their activity and might even never flare up in their lifetime. However, they absolutely cannot become overweight. Once they gain weight, it can trigger these heart conditions. Tang Wanwan turned to look at the young lady. Over the next few days, you should keep a close eye on it. If it frequently shows symptoms like vomiting or weakness, bring it to me as soon as possible for a checkup. After chatting briefly with the young lady, Tang Wanwan quickly drove off to her next destination. All morning, during this time, she met 10 adoptive parents, one after another. Under the care of these people, every cat is very healthy. I don't know if it's that the poor cats met soft-hearted people, or these lonely people received the love from the cats. The car rushed back to the adoption center all the way, even though she had already prepared herself mentally. But when Tang Wanwan walked to the backyard, she still saw an extremely chaotic scene. Zhang Kai was pressed under more than 10 cats. Next to him was a mother tiger constantly eager to try, and 2 little tigers were held in Zhang Kai's arms, constantly using their paws to scratch around, wanting to find food. Looking at the situation before her, Tang Wanwan couldn't help but sigh. All right, stop making trouble. As Tang Wanwan's voice sounded, the chaotic backyard returned to calm in just a few seconds, as if the scene just now was all an illusion. Ha 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 ha, indeed. The only station master of the adoption center is at the top of the food chain. Brother Zhang is really pitiable every time Wanwan goes out. He gets bullied in the live streams room amidst a large number of bullet comments. Zhang Kai, holding two little tigers, sat up from the ground. In an excited tone, they opened their eyes. The two little ones opened their eyes this morning, then couldn't help but complain. I just wanted to take advantage of them just opening their eyes. Let these two guys get familiar with the taste of meat. After bringing the meat over, it ended up like this. Although the cats at the adoption center also get to eat meat, they can't possibly be fed to fullness at every meal like the Northeast tigers. Their main food is actually still cat food, which can fill their stomachs. But it's definitely not as delicious as meat. When this group saw Zhang Kai feeding meat to the two little ones, who hadn't yet established his authority, was surrounded and attacked. If it were Tang Wanwan instead, this group would immediately switch to another attitude, rolling around, acting coquettishly, and being cute. Tang Wanwan weighed the two little ones in her hands. Not bad. They're developing quickly. It's estimated that in another 2 weeks we'll be able to see them running around. Hearing Tang Wanwan's words, Zhang Kai's eyes also filled with anticipation, unlike the initial data collection. After such a long period of interaction, the two little ones have almost become his children, with daily feedings, wiping their bodies and cleaning their bottoms. Just as they were happily chatting, here a sudden scream came from the cats in the distance. There's a mouse. The sharp sound made Tang Wanwan immediately lift her head. A sable, faintly shimmering purple in the sunlight, was standing on the wall, its eyes full of anticipation as it looked at Tang Wanwan. Seeing this creature, Tang Wanwan was also stunned for a moment, then quickly reacted, shooing away the two little kittens that had approached, and reaching out her hand toward it. Little one, what brings you here? The little sable cautiously went along, climbing up the wall onto Tang Wanwan's hand. It's so scary here. It curled its body into a ball, leaving only a pair of eyes to look at the cats around. Tang Wanwan used her hand to stroke this little creature, trying to make her tone as gentle as possible. Why did you suddenly run to me? The little sable moved its big tail, its voice full of sadness. I couldn't hold on any longer. Finding food is so hard. The clan leader told me to follow my feeling and seek help in human society. Looking at the teary-eyed little creature, Tang Wanwan frowned. Where is your clan? How are they? Everyone can't find food. The little we have is given to the pregnant mothers first. Patting the little sable's head, Tang Wanwan turned to look at Zhang Kai in the distance. Go to the kitchen fridge, take a piece of fish, cut it into strips, then rinse it with warm water and bring it over. Zhang Kai, who was still feeding the little tiger, heard Tang Wanwan's words and hurried to the kitchen. Tang Wanwan sat down on the grass with the little sable, then adjusted the camera in front of her. What everyone sees now is a Northeast second-level protected animal. The sable, so pretty, so soft in the hand, how comfortable it must be. Everyone hasn't noticed that this Northeast tiger seems to be a switch. The animals coming these days are getting more and more. We have both first level and second level now. Wanwan, aren't you really considering opening a zoo? Without waiting for Tang Wanwan's reply, Zhang Kai returned with the sliced fish. The little creature saw the fish meat. Its previously drooping tail immediately started wagging. It looked at Tang Wanwan with a pair of expectant eyes. Go ahead and eat. This is for you. Woo, human, you're so good. Tang Wanwan didn't know how long this little thing had been starving. But one thing was certain, if they didn't intervene soon, this group of little sables probably wouldn't be far from starving to death. Now is actually the time when sables are pregnant. Finding food is inherently difficult. For the continuation of the population, they gather all the food and give it to the mother sable. This is also the solution most populations in nature adopt when facing food scarcity. While it might not guarantee the population's continuation, it at least ensures the children are born smoothly to see this world. Watching the little guy wolf down the food, Zhang Kai also moved closer. What's the situation? Can't find food. The whole group can hardly survive. That brief statement made Zhang Kai's brows furrow as well. He knew resources in the primeval forest were gradually decreasing now, but he hadn't expected even such small-sized creatures couldn't escape food shortages. Seeing Zhang Kai's expression, Tang Wanwan's tone carried infinite temptation. Your pregnancy experiment It should be useful for sables too, but this guy should be a male, right? It is male. But its population has pregnant little sables, their gaze is met. Yes, Zhang Kai immediately understood what Tang Wanwan meant. Adopting an entire population of sables is something that for most people is a very difficult thing to do. But for Zhang Kai, it's just a matter of writing experimental need in the research report, and then having the rescue station supplement some paperwork. Zhang Kai looked at that pitiful little sable and nodded. I'll handle it. The live stream room erupted. The adoption center adds a new species, hahaha, as expected. No one can resist such an adorable little creature. So next time I go to adopt a cat, can I pet this bunch of little cuties on the spot? Tang Wanwan glanced at the live stream chat and said with a laugh, in the future, when the animals here have adjusted for adopting cats, I'll open another area to let everyone have more contact with these wild animals. If you put it that way, then I'm wide awake. Can we pet the big cats if we don't adopt? Tang Wanwan briefly answered at few chat messages, then turned her gaze to the little sable who had eaten its fill. Ooh, it feels so good to be full. Watching the little sable wag its tail happily, Tang Wanwan coaxed, in the future, do you want to eat this full every meal? Yes. Then go back and bring your tribe here, and from now on, every single one can eat this much every meal. Really possible? Of course it is. Looking at the sable's lively big eyes, Tang Wanwan tied the remaining fish meat in a bag and hung it around its neck. Leave early, return early. The little sable looked deeply at Tang Wanwan. Then, with a slight push of its e-claws, climbed out along the wall. The livestream room boiled over again. No way, you two can actually converse? Streamer, hurry up and say, aren't you bound to a system? This is probably from communicating with animals for a long time. Maybe you can roughly understand what they mean amidst the teasing. In the livestream chat, Tang Wanwan squinted her eyes to survey the backyard area, then also looked at Zhang Kai. Eat something. We have a big project this afternoon after the two finished lunch. Tang Wanwan rummaged for a while in the small storage shed in the front yard, then carried out a large pile of building materials. With Tang Wanwan's instructions, Zhang Kai quickly got to work. No way, are we starting to explosively renovate the zoo already? The backyard renovation was truly a big project for the two of them. Even the cement needed for fixing things had to be mixed themselves, consuming immense energy both physically and mentally. Zhang Kai placed a prepared bucket of cement on the ground, looking at Tang Wanwan with an expression of agony. Can't we just hire a worker? Hearing this, Tang Wanwan put down the cut wire mesh in her hands. Do you know how much a worker costs? It was a full $400 to $500. Zhang Kai frowned. No, you're not short on that little amount now. Their gradually rising voices also caused a flood of comments to surge in the live stream, fearing that the two might actually start arguing. In the end, it was Zhang Kai who backed down first. Why? Zhang Kai didn't dwell on finding his worker anymore. Instead, filled with questions, he looked at Tang Wanwan's side. Perhaps for most people, these few $100s could make their lives easier for several days, but for those cats struggling day to day, these few $100s are enough to help them survive a harsh winter. You should know that at least 60% of stray cats each year forever remain in that winter, and the space in adoption centers is, after all, limited. Tang Wanwan couldn't take in so many stray cats, but she could at least buy some thick cotton quilts, set up to small shelters to help the cats get through winter. The air grew quiet as Tang Wanwan spoke. Zhang Kai stood there, dazed for quite a while. Sorry, I didn't consider that. Seeing Zhang Kai's sincere attitude in admitting his mistake, Tang Wanwan smiled, handed the shovel in her hand to him. If you know you were wrong, then go shovel the lawn over there. Watching the too busy. In the backyard, the comments in the live stream also started surging again. Good thing they didn't argue. Wanwan finally has someone to help her. I hope he doesn't leave again. I wonder what the backyard will look like after the renovation. A busy afternoon is far from enough to completely transform the backyard, but at least some initial shape has taken form. Unconsciously, the sky darkened. Tang Wanwan put down the tools in her hands and looked at Zhang Kai. Let's call it a day for now. I'll go cook in a bit. Hearing Tang Wanwan's words, Zhang Kai rubbed his sore back. Okay. Then, Tang Wanwan turned to face the camera and bid farewell to the audience. All right. That's all for today's live stream. Remember our slogan. Adopt, don't shop. After ending the stream, Tang Wanwan entered the warehouse, strained to move a large bag of cat food onto a cart, then pushed it to the first floor, filling the food bowls in each cat cage one by one. Yummy, fresh, two-legged creature, you're the best. Hearing the voices coming from the cages, a smile spread across Tang Wanwan's face. She turned her gaze to the two ragdoll cats that had only recently arrived. Although these two little ones have been here for a few days now, perhaps because their previous life was too comfortable, they're still finding it somewhat difficult to adjust to the shelter environment. Aside from being more enthusiastic during mealtime, most of the time they hide in corners without a sound. Against this kind of psychological trauma, Tang Wanwan doesn't have many solutions either. She can only rely on time to gradually help them heal. However, what she couldn't understand was, why were these two so well-behaved and cute kittens abandoned? Tang Wanwan rubbed the little one's head, continued to add cat food to the cage behind. After one round, 20 pounds of cat food directly disappeared. By half, she took out the two newly arrived ragdolls, sat on the ground and played with them for a while, stroking their heads, and asked, "Can you tell me what kind of person your previous owner was?" Hearing Tang Wanwan's question, the slightly rounder ragdoll cautiously spoke up. The two-legged creature loved to cry, every time hiding under the covers and crying for a long time. We both would go comfort it. The two-legged creature went out early every morning and came back very late, only playing with us once every few days. As the ragdoll explained, Tang Wanwan also roughly pictured the appearances of the two owners. One is a girl who cries easily, usually quite busy with work, having only about 1 day a week off. However, judging from the description of the two cats, this owner's salary level should be considered quite good, so even if she had to change jobs and move to another city, she wouldn't be so unwilling to spend a bit on travel costs as to abandon pets she had raised for almost 2 years. After pondering for a long time, Tang Wanwan took out her phone, found the landlord's number she had called last time, and soon the landlady's voice came through. "Hello, sister. I'm the one who took the cats from you last time. I wanted to ask, do you have that tenant's information?" "Yes, what do you need it for?" "It's like this, I want to try and see if I can get in touch. These two cats don't really seem abandoned. It's also possible something happened." Hearing Tang Wanwan's words, the phone line fell silent for a long time before the response came. "In principle, I definitely cannot disclose tenant information, but since there's a reason for it, I'll give you an address, name, and phone number." "Okay, thank you, sister." After obtaining the two ragdoll cat's owner's information, Tang Wanwan quickly dialed the number, different from what the landlord said. This time the call didn't take long to be answered, but what came through was a man's voice. "Hello. Is the owner of this phone Ms. Wang? What's the matter?" A somewhat cold voice made Tang Wanwan involuntarily furrow her brows. "It's like this. The two cats she previously raised are with me. I want to ask if she really abandoned them." Hearing this, the other end of the phone remained silent for a long time. "Hello, are you still there?" After Tang Wanwan urged several times, a voice finally came through again. "Sorry, where are the cats? I'll come pick them up." The voice was somewhat choked, which gave Tang Wanwan a faint suspicion in her heart. "May I ask what happened to Ms. Wang?" "A car accident. She has been in the intensive care unit for the week now." When saying this, the man's voice sounded rather flat, clearly having already prepared for the worst. Tang Wanwan froze. So the two little ones weren't abandoned after all.